Hey everyone, if you don't know me, my name is Megan Porta. I'm the host over at the Eat Blog Talk podcast and community. I'm also a longtime food blogger. I've been content creating for 15 plus years now, since 2010, so a very long time. I've been in the game for so long. I've seen trends come and go, platforms come and go. I feel like I have a really good finger on the pulse of what is happening and what's going to happen. So let's talk about being a content creator in 2026. I know blogging feels really different right now. If you've been feeling unsettled or unsure about where to put your energy this year, you are not imagining it and you're not alone. So my intent for recording this video is to share what 2025 taught me about content, about platforms, about myself as a creator, about myself as a human. And I've been thinking a lot, really, really deep thoughts about what it means to be a content creator heading into 2026. So let's do this together. I also like to say that this is not a video based on panic or fear. It never is from my perspective. It's about reality and perspective and positivity, hope, and encouragement. So what I'm sharing in this video is what I've learned from being in it, experimenting, paying attention, showing up, and listening. One of the biggest realizations I had in 2025 is that blogging post 2025 is a completely different business than it was even a handful of years ago. I think accepting this, embracing this key concept is step number one. You have to do this before you listen to anything else we talk about in this video. So keep rewinding until you get that. I think the most successful bloggers I know are no longer relying on just Google traffic and ad revenue alone. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're looking elsewhere and honestly in many different places at once. So think Pinterest, Facebook, social media, YouTube video, digital products, email marketing, and not saying that you have to do all of those, but these are the different things that people are considering. So blogging is not dead. It just means that blogging is no longer a standalone strategy. It's part of a bigger ecosystem. In 2025, I stopped living inside of keyword research tools. I never thought I would say that, but I did. I still use key search. I still scope out keywords, but I drastically reduced the amount of time I spent in there. What became more important to me was the question, what specific need does this piece of content serve? Instead of asking, will this rank? I started asking, who is this actually for? When content is created to genuinely serve someone, it performs so much better everywhere. On your blog, on social platforms, in email. That shift changed how I approach everything in my business. In September, I got a little bit of a wild hair. I hadn't touched my YouTube channel for my food blog or my Instagram account for my food blog since, are you ready for this? 2019. It had been 6 years, you guys. Both were very inactive and outdated and lonely, but I felt this pull toward something more human and more engaging for the people who wanted my content. So I decided to do a little experiment. After I had an Eat Blog Talk interview with Pat Flynn, where he shared about his experiment with YouTube Shorts, I challenged myself to publish my own version of his experiment with YouTube Shorts. So I committed to publishing daily shorts for 2 months. I had no expectations. I had no goal of virality. I just wanted to show up consistently, and I knew it would pay off in some way. I didn't know how, but I knew it would. A few weeks into that experiment, I was hosting a retreat for Eat Blog Talk, and the members there unanimously told me after they had heard about my shorts experiment, Megan, you need to republish all of these videos on Instagram and TikTok. I knew they were right. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to make time for it. I really, really didn't, like, at all. But I did it anyway. Since then, that was on October 9th of 2025, I have been publishing nearly daily reels and shorts nearly daily reels and shorts across all of those platforms. So YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I didn't go viral. I had a few shorts that did really well, but I wouldn't call them viral. Virality, like I said, was never the goal. But what I did gain was something way more valuable. I developed a deeper connection with who I'm serving and a greater understanding about why I'm showing up in the first place. I could feel it almost immediately when a video didn't resonate. I would think, okay, that's not who I'm serving, and that's not the kind of content my people want. And honestly, that clarity changed everything, not just on that specific platform, but everywhere. So now I know something that I haven't known all this time, which is I am serving people who want cozy, comforting, reliable food that's easy, real life food that feels supportive, not performative, not perfect. This experiment also taught me how important hooks are when creating video, how timing visuals and video to text and music actually matters. And trending music actually matters. There are so many things that matter that I didn't know before. Also, how consistency builds trust. This one was huge. One unexpected outcome of publishing consistent shorts and reels is how much it impacted my long form video, specifically talking about YouTube. Now, within hours of publishing a long form YouTube video, I can typically rank in the video section of Google within hours. Why? I believe because the trust is there. I believe it's because the platform knows who I am. Those shorts really built up our trust. And not just YouTube, but Google, since they work so closely together. Both of those platforms know who my content is for. They know who I am. They trust me. And I believe that they are rewarding that clarity. Okay, let's talk about Pinterest. Oh, Pinterest was a wild card in 2025. I talked to so many content creators who are like, I'm done with Pinterest. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm never going back to that relationship again. It was like a bad relationship that people just wanted to forget. I am a long time Pinterest user and lover. I don't think I'll ever give up on Pinterest. It is such prime real estate for food bloggers. And I believe that 2025 was a transitional year for Pinterest with so many things thrown into the mix with like AI and other significant changes. It was in transition just like we were. So we just can't treat Pinterest like the old friend we once knew. Old strategies need to be rewired. Going into 2026, I really believe that fresh eyes matter more than clinging to what used to work. Strategies that worked last year in 2024 and earlier, out the window. Start fresh, create new pins, use new colors, use new fonts. New strategies are so important. Experiment with Pinterest as much as you can, and please don't give up on it. I know Facebook feels like an old strategy as well, like the old Pinterest, but a lot of bloggers are finding real success on Facebook right now, especially when it comes to community and getting traffic to your blog. It's worth reconsidering. Go back there, see what you can do to re-engage with your community there and get those links sent to your blog. It is working for a lot of people. In 2025, I also wrote a book. So crazy. This was not on my goal list in early 2025. I wrote this book in 2 months. It's called Take the Exit. It's a memoir about my family's decade of RV travels, and not just the adventures and stories that we've experienced, but also the mindset required to live that life. So it's meant to be an inspirational book for you to take your exit, whatever that means for you, but also entertain you with our mishaps and near-death experiences. This book did not fit into any business plan I had for my year. It did not align with a funnel. It really didn't make sense on paper, but it felt aligned when it came to me in the middle of the year. Nothing about that project felt heavy or hard as I was doing it, which was my sign. That's how I knew that it was exactly right. I think this is such an important lesson for creators right now. We need to lean into those intuitive nudges more often, even when they don't necessarily fit a clear plan or goal. Alignment is data, so follow the nudges. They're trying to tell you something. And I think this year is the year to really lean into that and make space so you know what the nudges are. Another thing I'm just intuitively doing in 2026 is I'm scaling back on expenditures. I'm cutting back on contractors a bit, things I'm outsourcing, not because anything is wrong necessarily, but because I want to open up that space that I just referred to for projects to happen that have been waiting for that room to breathe. There's no big strategy behind this. It's just a gut feeling. And honestly, it feels like the right season for this, for me and possibly for you as well. So I mentioned YouTube a little bit. I really, really think that video is going to be so huge this year and beyond. People want to see your face more than ever. They want the humanity, they want the connection, they want the relationship, they want to hear your voice. They want to really know who you are beyond words on a screen. So lean into video. And if that feels overwhelming, start simple. Start with your phone. That's what I do for a lot of my video content. I do hire a professional videographer to come in and record some of my long form video for YouTube, but not for everything that I publish. For some of my content, I set up my phone in my kitchen. It takes me 1 hour to film, and it takes me 1 hour to edit and publish video. That is not a big commitment. So figure out how to make something like that happen if it does feel overwhelming. And we have to touch on email a little bit because email is also the way of the future. Building an email list and connecting there creates trust in a way that no other platform does, and no platform can take away from that. One of the biggest byproducts of email is getting traffic in new and unexpected ways. A lot of people don't expect to get surges of traffic through email, but it can definitely happen. And my last point is build connections in 2026. Please, this matters more than ever. And I know I say this every year, but really, it's going to serve you and your business and your mindset and your sanity so much this year if you can prioritize it. You cannot do this alone. This content creation game is no joke. You need support. You need people to uplift you and motivate you and hold you accountable. It is not an option anymore. It's a necessity. Go to conferences, go to retreats. Eat Blog Talk hosts 2 retreats a year. Come join us at one of those. They're incredible. And if you can't make those, then form your own. Also, join a mastermind group. If you can't find one, just host your own. Do what you need to do to find your people. This is so important. And in closing, you don't need to do everything. I know it feels like it, especially with all the things that we mentioned here today. You might be thinking, well, I can't do all of those things. I don't expect you to do all of those things, but choose a few to experiment with that feel aligned. Lean into those nudges and roll with that. Flow with what your intuition tells you. The creators who will thrive in 2026 are the ones who will listen, who We'll build that trust slowly and stay human, humanize yourself. So if you've been feeling uncertain, like we're on a bit of a roller coaster, you're not alone, but I hope this video gives you a little bit of grounding and a little clarity. If you need anything at all, please reach out to me. I'm always here. Here's my email on the screen. And I just want to say that you've got this. We've got this. 2026 is going to be a breakthrough year, I think, for a lot of us. So we're in this together. Thank you so much for watching.